Hi, it's Alaska Granny. It's important to continue to add to your food storage. Even if you bought a lot in the past, you might want to take an inventory and figure out how much you really have, how long will it really last, and in a world going forward that seems to have some uncertainties, is it really enough? There are a lot of practical reasons to stockpile food. The first one is convenience. If you have food on hand, you can go to your pantry, you can get out a few items and prepare a meal for your family. A food storage pantry also allows you to save money. You can stock up when things are on sale, and we know that the prices of groceries are simply going up. Stockpiling food ahead of time allows you to buy them before the prices increase. Having a stockpile of food also gives you food security. Going forward, you may not be able to get to the store. The stores may not have the things on hand. There might be crop failures, there might be weather-related floods and things that destroy the crops. There might be road closures or emergencies when trucks simply can't get through and bring the food to your local grocery store. Grocery stores only have 2 or 3 days supply of food. In a weather-related event where the shipping is delayed, there is no more food coming. That can be a real problem for people who depend on going to the store regularly. Stockpiling food also allows you to have security in an economic downturn. If our economy turns down, that can be bad for a lot of people. But what if you lose your job, or your hours are cut, or you had a big bill come in and then you don't have as much money? You have the security of knowing that you can weather an emergency of all kinds of situations if you have food stockpiled in your prepper pantry. I just tried the Walmart Clicklist again. I tried it a few weeks ago, and a lot of the food items that I wanted were not on hand. But this time, the foods that I ordered were available. And what did I get from my Clicklist at Walmart this time? I got some canning jar lids and rings. It can be easy to pick up empty canning jars at thrift stores, flea markets, garage sales, or perhaps you have a lot on hand already. Having new lids for your canning jars means you can continue to use them. If you use them for pressure canning or water bath canning, you need a new lid every single time. You can also store dry items in your canning jars, and you can reuse the lid over and over. You can put dry food in a canning jar and simply screw on the lid, or you could add an oxygen absorber. You can even use a food saver jar attachment to vacuum seal dry foods in your canning jars. The next thing I bought was macaroni. All kinds of noodles, pastas, macaronis store for practically forever. You can store them in a canning jar. You can put them in a 5-gallon bucket. You can seal them in Mylar pouches. There are lots of different ways you can store the pasta so that it'll last for many years, but you need to make sure that you store it so it's cool, dry, and in a container that can't be infested with bugs or little critters who want to chew on it. I recently had tried the Progresso chicken and sausage gumbo soup, and the last time I ordered it from Walmart on the Clicklist, all the cans came with several dents in them. So it was not an item that I was able to put away and store, but this time it is. I used those dented cans right away and discovered, boy, this stuff is really delicious. That's one way to find out if a food is suitable for you to store for your family. Buy one, take it home, and try it. If you like it, get more. Don't stock up on a bunch of foods you've never tasted in case no one likes it. Then you've wasted your food storage dollars and your pantry space. The next item I bought, 2 20-pound bags of rice. Rice was not available the last time I went to Walmart. There was absolutely none on the shelf, and there have been out of rice for quite a while. That caused me to have anxiety that if basic foods like rice are not available, I need to make sure that I have more going forward. We don't know what the future holds, but we do know that food is cheap now. It's available. Why wouldn't you want to have enough so that you can always provide the things you need for as long as possible? You can see from this receipt that these items didn't even cost that much. This is what they cost in Alaska. They may be a different price where you are, but even if you just get one item extra every time you go to the store, you can be adding to your stockpile. Another item that I ordered on Amazon because the price was so great was the Augustin Farms dried cheese. Each can of Augustin Farms cheese has 43 servings. It's nice because you just need to boil the noodles. The cheese blend only needs water to reconstitute it into cheese sauce. It may not be the most delicious macaroni and cheese you've ever had, but the can of cheese can last on the shelf for 10 years. You can't get that out of those little boxes. Those cheese packets aren't sealed well enough that you can put them away for 10 years. They can last beyond their expiration date, as will the Augustin Farm cheese blend. So look at different choices, easy ways to store the foods that you need. None of this is wasted because your food storage is designed for food that you eat. Don't buy food you don't eat. Buy foods you're willing to eat and then put them as a part of your regular meal plan. Rotate through your food. In an emergency, use your pantry foods first. When you run out of a pantry item, that's when you dig into the bulk foods that you've been saving. But guess what? I like to use rice, so I can go and get some of my stored rice, add it into my working pantry, and still have more rice stored. Make sure that you're using first in, first out. Use your oldest foods first, and when you're rotating, when you buy more food, put it behind it on the shelf or wherever you're storing it so that the oldest food is pushed to the front and the new food is in the back. Then as you use it up, you continue rotating it just the way they do in the grocery store. A great way to store bulk food is in a 5-gallon bucket with a sealing lid. I've gotten mine from bakeries. Go into the grocery store to the bakery, ask them if they have any buckets. They've always given them to me for free. Take them home, wash them out, and look the lid over carefully. Make sure that the lid has the inner gasket seal that's going to seal up the bucket. There's a lot of ways to use buckets for your prepping supplies. How much food should you store? That has a lot of variables. How many people are in your family? What's the length of time that you care to have food stored? How much room do you have for your stored food? And then remember, store foods that you know how to cook that your family will actually eat. Stored food also requires water. Make sure you're storing all the water that you have room for. We don't know what the future holds, but we do know that we're going to be wanting food to eat, fresh water to drink, and to have enough supplies of the things that we count on having. Stock up while things are readily available so you can face whatever comes your way. Learn more at alaskagranny.com. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.